Hey Gab, Facebook, YouTube, and Minds.com. This is Kevin Newsom coming to you from Houston, Texas. I hope you're having a good time whenever and wherever you're at. Today I'm going to be speaking about South Africa, specifically how South Africa has passed the point of no return. Now, last week the Parliament of South Africa approved the confiscation of white South African land without compensation. In other words, all white South African landowners or farmers are now on notice that their land can be legally taken from them without any compensation at all. And just this week, the individual who made this proposal in South Africa's parliament stated that he was going to slash the throat of whiteness. Now, this situation has all the markings of another Rwanda. For those of you who may not be old enough to remember the Rwandan Genocide, in 1994, two ethnic groups were pitted against one another. The majority group felt that the minority group was taking advantage of them and had stolen their land and resources. So the majority slaughtered the minority. In a span of 100 days, over 1 million people were murdered in Rwanda. Now, Western governments, specifically the government of the United States, had indications that this was going to happen. There were tensions that had ratcheted up over the course of decades. There were key indicators letting anyone know he was paying attention that this kind of genocidal behavior was going to occur. My friends, we can't allow another Rwanda to happen again. We cannot simply sit back and let millions of people be slaughtered in Africa all over again. Now, you may ask yourself, well, why didn't the United States do anything back in 1994? Why didn't they do anything to stop that Rwandan genocide? Because at the time, the government was embroiled with other matters. And they quite honestly didn't think Rwandans massacring one another was important enough to bother with. At the bottom of this video, I'm going to include a link of people who worked in the United States government at that time, as well as other people around the world, who almost all unanimously say that Rwandan genocide could have been prevented. Specifically, it could have been prevented by the United States. Instead, the United States chose to do nothing. And as a result, over 1 million people were murdered. My friends, we're seeing the exact same conditions brewing in South Africa today that we saw in Rwanda in 1994. We have a majority ethnic group who is growing increasingly hostile to a minority ethnic group. We have a bill passed in Parliament that legalizes confiscating minority lands without payment. We have the same person who presented said bill in Parliament openly saying, we're going to slash the throat of whiteness. I would ask each of you watching this video if you feel that genocide is acceptable. I would ask you, are you comfortable sitting back and doing nothing and saying nothing and allowing this to happen? And you may be asking, Kevin, why haven't we heard more about this? Sure, it's a bad situation. Sure, it could get much worse. But why isn't anyone talking about this? My friends, I'm going to speak plainly to you. You're not hearing about this from the media because the media doesn't care. You're not hearing about this from Hollywood celebrities because Hollywood celebrities only care about themselves. You're not hearing about this from the proponents of Syrian refugees because no one has told them to care about this. Right now, just a few people are even speaking about this horrible situation brewing in South Africa. But for those with ears to hear and eyes to see, we see the situation in South Africa for what it is. Another Rwanda waiting to happen. This time, however, we have a chance to get it right. This time we have a chance to save millions of people's lives. Before open genocide breaks out in South Africa, this time we have a chance in the United States to do the right thing. The South Africans who are targeted for land confiscation without compensation are now being targeted for outright murder. We have a chance in the United States to help prevent this from happening. So I call on the U.S. Congress and I call on President Donald Trump to begin opening a door for these South Africans who are affected by the draconian, wicked, and genocidal policies of the South African government. Because if we sit on our butts and do nothing and say nothing and wait for Hollywood or wait for the media to speak up, it's going to be too late. And we're going to see millions of more people slaughtered for no reason whatsoever. It's up to us to speak out. It's up to us to raise awareness. And it's up to us to get real, meaningful action to take place here in the United States. The farmers of South Africa are in peril, and they have been for quite some time. But now no one is bothering to hide it. The government of South Africa has showed themselves for what they are, and we can see the writing on the wall. I humbly ask each of you watching this video to look at the links I'm providing, to think for yourselves, and then to contact your senator, your congressman, and yes, the President of the United States, because it's time to intervene in South Africa. This is Kevin Newsom coming to you from Houston, Texas, saying no more Rwandas, no more genocide, save the South Africans. God bless you whenever and wherever you're at. I'll talk to you later. Bye.